Hello, everyone. I have a really insane case to share with you today. It's about a traffic stop in Essex, a neighborhood in Baltimore County that escalates from 0 to 100. Real quick, with that being said, let's jump right into it. Shortly after 11 p.m. on July 30th, 2021, county police officers saw a car speeding and pulled the driver over at Eastern Boulevard near Wagner's Lane in Essex, Maryland. The driver was Nicole Michelle Johnson. Officers found she had fake tags, a fake registration, and no driver's license. When the officer told her she would have to report to district court within 5 days for her traffic citations, she responded, "It doesn't matter, I won't be here in 5 days. Y'all going to see me on the news making my big debut." Ironically, she was unfortunately right about that. Officers had noticed a strong foul odor when they approached the car, and it grew stronger as Johnson began to unload items in preparation for the car to be towed for the traffic violations. They soon discovered the long-dead children. Johnson retrieved belongings from the car. One of the retrieved items was a clear trash bag that contained maggots. As the officer smelled the odor getting worse, he noticed there was a suitcase in the bag that Johnson claimed only contained blankets. Johnson, pretending to struggle to remove the blanket, quickly realizing that wasn't going to work, she fully removed it, ultimately exposing a decomposing body of a young child. Jocelyn, who should have been 7, apparently died in May 2020 after Johnson said she struck the girl several times, causing her to hit her head on the floor. Johnson attempted to run away, but she was apprehended a short distance away. Detectives searched the remaining bags after she was detained and found another decomposing body of a second young child. Larry, 5, died 2 months ago, she said. According to the police, Johnson said he fell asleep one night and never woke up. She then put both of their bodies in her car, presumably to hide them, and eventually dispose of their remains.
This is such a heartbreaking story. Tonight we have new insight into the horrible deaths of 2 children found in their aunt's car in Baltimore County. Nicole Johnson, she is facing multiple charges, including first-degree child abuse resulting in death. According to these disturbing charging documents, police pulled Johnson over Wednesday in a car with fake tags. An officer smelled an odor of decomposition, and his search led to the body of 7-year-old Jocelyn Marie James Johnson inside of a suitcase. Her 5-year-old brother, Larry O'Neill, was found inside of a plastic tote. WMER2 News' Ray Strickland live at the Baltimore County Police Headquarters tonight. Ray, I know you had a chance to speak to child abuse prevention experts. Sounds like there might have been some warning signs that were missed in this case.
Yes, Kelly, he told me there were several warning signs missed over the past year and a half, a couple of them being the kids were severely malnourished and the fact the 7-year-old was missing for over a year.
It's a tragedy beyond comprehension, and the details about what led up to the deaths of 7-year-old Jocelyn Johnson and her younger brother, 5-year-old Larry O'Neill, are disturbing. At the center of the investigation is their aunt, 33-year-old Nicole Johnson. Charging documents show the kid's mother trusted her to take care of them when she no longer could. That was 2 years ago, and just 1 year later, 7-year-old Jocelyn was dead. Baltimore County detectives say she was killed in May of 2020 at this Regal Inn on Pulaski Highway. Johnson admitted to police she hit her niece several times at the motel before she fell and hit her head. She also confessed to later putting her in a suitcase, placing her in the back of her car while driving around with the body for months. As for Jocelyn's brother Larry, his death is less clear. Johnson told detectives that he died 2 months ago when he lied down in the back of her car and never woke up. She says she put his body in a plastic tote in the trunk of her car next to his sister. Johnson then continued to drive around with her niece and nephew in the trunk until she was stopped by police in Essex on Wednesday.
This is a tragic and horrifying, depraved act.
During their autopsy, it was also revealed the 2 were severely malnourished. Jocelyn weighed just 18 pounds and Larry was only 21 pounds. Adam Rosenberg, who was a child welfare advocate at LifeBridge Health, says he finds it shocking no one noticed something was wrong.
But these aren't just skinny kids, that these are kids who, to anyone who saw these kids, should know that something's wrong. Someone should have picked up on the fact that there were 2 kids living with this aunt and then suddenly there was 1 kid.
Rosenberg also wonders if Jocelyn was in school and why her disappearance was never reported.
This is what we feared the most during the early days of the pandemic, that eyes weren't on kids.
He says we all have the legal right to report the possible abuse of a child. Rosenberg says if you suspect something is wrong, don't hesitate to help, because in some cases a child's life could be on the line.
Collectively, I think we as society have failed. This is not just one agency or one institution that failed, but I think we all let these kids down here in some way.
And it is important to note that according to these charging documents, the kid's mother told detectives that she tried to get the kids back over the years, but she couldn't get in contact with Johnson. She also told detectives because of that, she no longer knew where Johnson or her kids were until police told her about their deaths. Reporting live in Baltimore County, I'm Ray Strickland, WMAR2 News.
She admitted to the police she smelled the strong odor of decomposition, but claimed she thought it was a rat in the engine. Johnson also told detectives that both children are her sister's kids. She was watching them because her sister was unable to care for them. A vigil for the two slain children was held on August 2, 2021.
A vigil will be held tonight to remember the two children found dead in the trunk of a car last week in Baltimore County. Jocelyn Johnson was just 7 years old. Her brother, Larry O'Neill, was 5. Both of them were severely underweight. Right now, their aunt is in custody, charged with murder and with child abuse in connection with their deaths. WMAR2 News' Mark Roper is following that story live from Essex, where the traffic stop happened last week. So, Mark, what are investigators saying about this case now?
Good morning, Christian. Well, court documents show that the 7-year-old girl had been in the trunk of that car since May of 2020. Her 5-year-old brother in the trunk of that car for the last 2 months. Now, tonight at 7 o'clock, Delegate Rick Metzger will hold a prayer vigil here at the Essex Park and Ride, which is right next to where that traffic stop took place. It's open to the community, as the hope is that it will bring healing to the community hurt by the loss of these two young lives.
The children's biological mother told detectives that she moved from Ohio to Maryland with the children in July 2019 and that she couldn't care for her children and agreed to leave them with her sister. Police said the mother tried numerous times to get in touch with Johnson, but was unsuccessful. The mother eventually heard from Johnson in March of 2021 and arranged to have her children returned. However, Johnson never showed, and their mother was unable to find Johnson or her children until detectives notified her of the children's deaths. At the time of the autopsy, the little girl weighed 18 pounds and her brother weighed 21 pounds. According to doctors, it would have taken several months of malnourishment to attain such low weights. Johnson would go on to face multiple charges, including first-degree child abuse that resulted in the death of a child under the age of 13. Johnson waived her right to a bail review and remained held on a no-bail status. A preliminary hearing was set for August 27, 2021. In early 2025, a Baltimore County judge sentenced Nicole Johnson to life in prison, with all but 50 years suspended.
And new at noon, a Baltimore woman is sentenced to life in prison with all but 50 years suspended in the deaths of her niece and nephew. Back in 2021, you may remember Baltimore County Police pulled over Nicole Johnson and found the decomposing remains of the children in the trunk of her car. Police say they were 7-year-old niece Jocelyn Johnson and her 5-year-old nephew Larry O'Neill. Court documents in the case indicate Johnson was taking care of the children because their mother could not. The coroner says the children were malnourished and underweight. The official cause of death has not been determined.
This case is so insane. I remember seeing the body cam footage when it was released, and it was burned into my brain. What Nicole did is downright despicable and tragic. My heart hurts for the children's parents, friends, and family. Rest in peace to Jocelyn Marie James Johnson and Larry O'Neill. Additionally, if you live in the state of Maryland, keep in mind, Maryland Family Law 5705 indicates that all of us citizens, regardless of profession, have an obligation and a duty to report child abuse and neglect. Thank you all for watching. And as usual, if you're a fan of urban legends, folklore, unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and all things mysterious, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.